I call,
I'm gonna get you.
I think,
I don't have a B.
I call the Committee on Audit and Compliance to order. We will take up the following item for approval. Action item 1A is the approval of the minutes of the October 30th, 2024 meeting. I move the approval of the action item 1A. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that item is approved. Policy calendar. I would now like to take up the policy calendar. Item 1B1 is a resolution to approve the fiscal year 2024 Uniform Guidance Report. The university's external auditor, Grant Thornton, LLP, has audited the university's compliance with federal uniform guidance requirements. In this fiscal year 2024, Grant Thornton audited the amounts dispersed to the students for programs included in the federal student financial aid cluster. The university is seeking approval from the Board of Trustees for the University of Fiscal Year 2024 Uniform Guidance Report. Claire Eston, partner of Grant Thornton, LLC, will present a brief overview of the fiscal year 2024 Uniform Guidance Audit process and results. Hi, Claire.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for having me here today. It's great to be here. We are substantially done with the uniform guidance audit, just going through final items to be able to issue our reports. And we had no findings in the student financial aid cluster testing. So just as a reminder, we touch all of the campuses within the CUNY system through our testing, and we had no exceptions. So I wanted to say congratulations to the university, because that is that is impressive. I will go through the some of the details of the scope and areas of focus and results in a little bit more detail, but I'll be fairly brief, so if people have questions, just let me know. So as this slide indicates, we did test the student financial aid cluster. In the past, we have been looking at COVID-related funds in prior years, but this year we went back to just focusing on the student financial aid cluster. And then this slide actually just goes through a list of what we typically do for a uniform guidance, which is similar to what we've done in the past, so nothing really to highlight here, just more informational. This slide is actually a snapshot of one of the pages in the report that we issue, and it's referred to as the summary of auditor results. So it goes through on the left-hand side. It talks about the different reports that we're going to issue, the financial statement report. We issue a report on internal controls over financial reporting. In that, you'll see that there is, I'm sort of on the top left, it says material weakness identified, yes. That box is checked. If you recall, when we met in October of last year, there were some issues related to accounting for certain fixed assets, and management had to adjust their financial statements to correct for those errors. And we concluded ultimately, because of the materiality of the dollars involved, not the net impact, but the gross dollars involved, in the correction, that was an indication of a material weakness in internal control. So that is identified here as well. And then with respect to our opinion on the federal awards, again, we had no findings in the federal awards, the student financial aid cluster, so that's described here as well. And then on the right-hand side, it does identify the fact that the student financial aid cluster is the one that we tested. And the very bottom on the right, it says the auditee qualified as a low-risk auditee. It says yes. I will sort of preview that next year, because there was a material weakness reported this year, next year CUNY will not qualify as a low-risk auditee. They will be, it's not even to say you're high risk, it's just not low risk. What that ultimately means is that we have to make sure for the total amount of federal dollars that you receive primarily from the Department of Ed, but you do get other money from other agencies. When we're doing our testing of compliance next year, we just need to make sure we get 40% coverage of the total dollars instead of 20% coverage of the total dollars when you're a low-risk auditee. That will have actually no impact for CUNY because the student financial aid cluster is the predominant dollar amount that you receive for federal funding. So whether it's a 20% coverage or 40% coverage, we're always going to be testing student financial aid. So just wanted to preview that with you. It's not an exception, but it will be a bit of a change, and we'll mention it again next year. So again, no issues with compliance on federal awards. In the internal controls over financial reporting report that we issue, we will refer to the material weakness. We do have, in the actual report, it goes through in a little bit more detail to provide sort of the nature of the internal control deficiency and the recommendations. And actually, management also has the opportunity, or it's not even an opportunity, it's a requirement, that management include a corrective action plan to address the remediation, which I feel comfortable with what they've put in place so far. We'll obviously revisit that during next year's audit. So here's the write-up of the material weakness. And again, a similar version to this wording will go into the uniform guidance reporting package, along with management's response. Oops, sorry. And the attachment is a copy of the representation letter that management will sign, or this is the one that was signed by management, sorry, for the financial statement audit. So I went fairly quickly, but I think it was, there's not a lot to report, which is a good thing. But if anybody has questions on the uniform guidance audit process or the results or anything about the material weakness, I'm happy to entertain any questions.
So this concludes your report for now.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I move the approval of policy item B1. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that policy item 1B1 is approved. With no more items on the policy calendar, we will now move to the information item, which will be held in executive session. Okay.